Call the meeting to order. Everybody's here except for Mr. Legislator Muldrow is excused. Everybody else is present. So we'll start with approving the minutes from April 8th. Move it.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carried. Department head, water and sewer. Is Carl here?
Yes, I really don't have anything to add in my report.
Okay. Looks very complete. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Carl while he's here? All right, thank you. We'll put highway to the end. We got one resolution. And so I guess Doug Pierce.
Good evening, everybody. Just quickly, I did want to highlight the 5 farms that we did award the AIM Award for with Scipio Springs Dairy, Finger Lakes Nut Farm down in Locke, Minturn Farm Small Beef Operation, Kyle Farms Farm up in the north part of the county, and Syringa Farms. So we'll be coordinating a little meeting, luncheon, dinner, award ceremony. So you guys will get more information on that coming up. But they've done a great job, and we haven't given some awards out in a while. So it was about time that we did, and they went through the ranking, and these were the farms that received them. Tree sale wrapped up, so a couple leftovers. Anybody needs any, but thank you for anybody that did participate and purchased any trees or shrubs from our office. It was good. The apple trees look pretty good this year. The peach trees look pretty good. So, and then we just been doing a lot of follow up with the storms that have been coming through after all that hit, especially in the Niles area. Working with some of the towns and some of the residents, just evaluating damage and what all happened. So, other than that, you have the rest of the stuff in the report. Always reach out if you have questions.
Any questions for Doug? Thank you.
Thanks.
Highway, Brian Silver had a conflict tonight. He talked to me. He tried to move it and he couldn't move it. So he does have one resolution. It is authorizing for the 3-year agreement with Onondaga County for snow and ice removal on Onondaga County roads. If you want to have a motion in a second, then I can give you some more information on that.
I'll move it.
You have a second? A second? All right, so this is on East Brutus Road in Eastport, and it is 0.37 miles. It basically, we have to go over that portion of the road to get to our roads. So have an agreement with Onondaga County. It's $8,620.52 per mile, but it's only a third of a mile. So it's not really anything that's significant. He doesn't even have it in the budget, but it's just kind of a convenience thing for both counties. So any other questions? Otherwise, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Good. Any other business to be brought before this committee? Otherwise, Tom, you want to have a motion to amend or? Hans is. Motion to adjourn, Hans?
So.
Second.
All in
Here you go,
favor?
Ben, 4 minutes. That's a record.
That's a record.
Call CPS meeting to order. All members present, myself. Nicole and McNabb, Mark Strong, Ben Vitale, and Heidi Nightingale. We're all here. First of all, minutes to approve from the April 8th meeting. Entertain a motion for approval.
Nightingale, move it.
Mark.
Motion in a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, minutes approved. Appointments, we have none for this committee for this month. And with that, we will dive right into department updates, and we'll start with, right in order here, with 911.
Okay, good evening. You have my report. Just a couple of things, staffing update. We have hired, 3 new individuals. I say hired, it's a long process. We have them going through the background process. That generally takes about a month. And then once they're clear that process, we do the fingerprinting and the fingerprinting and I'm drawing a blank. The drug testing. Thank you, Heidi. And so once those are completed and they pass both of those, then we give them the 2-week window to give notice of their current employment. So we're still looking at hopefully end of June to start training. We have 1 employee leaving in June for, she's going back to medical school. And she will come back part-time, so that'll fill that vacancy. I just attended the preparedness assessment. It was a long day, but I think there was a lot to be learned from that. And that Riley will probably talk more about that. The final assessment will come out for review, but I think we all learned a lot from, our capabilities and things that we can improve on and things where we looked at where we are. We do have strengths. Grant funding. There are 2 new grants out right now. One is an NG 911 that is strictly for phone system. And one is a targeted grant that is focused on the interrupt channels and connectivity with our partner counties. So I'll be applying for both of those. They're due first week of June. The NG 911 grant, it looks like we're slated for about 1.5 million. The goal of that is to implement a new Vesta phone system. I'm working on quotes for that. Oswego County is partnering with us on this, so we will, the goal is to integrate our phone systems so that we can support one another. And the targeted grant is gonna essentially look at connecting fiber and microwave. And we have to move our redundant prime, which is in the current backup center. We're gonna move that to the Osborne Tower site. So I'm gonna put in for funding for that as well. Neither of those grants are focused on any operational costs. So those are all gonna be project-based that are separate from what our operating budget is. I don't really have any updates right now on the backup center. I think there will be a resolution coming at Ways. And I am working on a new camera project with Tom Bunn for the tower sites. We've run into some issues with the connectivity of the current infrastructure on the microwave network. But we're getting quotes for a new camera system, and that will also be grant funded. And then I just have 3 resolutions. JP1 is to fill a help position.
All right, JP1, entertain a motion for JP1.
Move it, Mark.
Nightingale, second.
Second. Any discussion? Anything further you expand on that, Denise?
No, this is just another one of the positions that we're turning into a help position so that we can essentially hire based on just job applications. This has been a great process. I certainly don't want to slight civil service, but this has just been a lot more seamless of a process for hiring. So these help positions are very beneficial to us.
Just to review, so you are able to access the help process because you have limited applicants, right?
Yes, and because the state's allowing it statewide.
Okay.
Mhm.
Did they just open the floodgates again?
Yeah, the position is considered an urgent position because of staffing constraints, and staffing needs. So this is one of the positions that's targeted for the help position.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carry. And JP2,
JP2 is to fill a supervising emergency services dispatcher position. It'll be a bit before I fill this, but I want to be ready when I can. As of July 1st, we're going to be down to one floor supervisor, which is going to be a huge liability for us. So we will work to fill these positions, but they're tough to fill. And it's tough to retain staff in those positions.
I entertain a motion for JP2.
Move it, Mark.
Motion to second.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion?
Yeah. I'd just like to say that, I'm going to support these tonight. But I can't guarantee that that's going to be the case at least. At some point, we really got to start looking at our hires and getting our budget under control. Not that these put it out of control or anything, but I will support them tonight, but can't guarantee in the future.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. And JP3, authorizing for finance director to make budget amendments for training, domestic violence training. I know you're going to expand your current budget or expend your current budget. And you have outlined training needs for the rest of the year. All that. I don't know if you might have a question on how that.
Yeah, I'd like to, I don't know.
You want me to?
Yeah, if you want to explain or,
First,
oh, yeah.
either way. I don't know what's appropriate.
I get it on the floor.
I move it, yeah, for discussion.
All right, entertain a motion.
Yeah, I moved it.
I'll second for discussion.
All right, discussion?
Yeah, so what's the increase in training up, offerings or whatever you're going to take advantage of?
Yeah, so if you recall, the training budget was reduced at the budget during the budget, and we talked a lot about that. Traditionally, we spend between 12 and 16,000 on training. And that's doing a lot in-house. We do as much as we possibly can in-house to save on costs, but dispatchers are required to do 21 hours of in-service a year. The biggest benefit to training is liability. Lawsuits come from people saying they weren't trained. So it's a huge liability protection for dispatchers to be trained. Domestic violence is probably one of the top, if not the top call that we take. And it's easy to get complacent on domestic violence calls because you get a lot of the same over and over. So that refresh and hearing from a trainer talk about how to handle these calls and the importance of not getting complacent. And knowing and having that awareness of what to listen for in the background and how to understand the lingo of someone who may have someone in the background and they're being conscious of what they say. The other key is with training, dispatchers are the first responders. So every incident in a county starts with dispatch. If there's a failure in dispatch, it's a trickle effect. So it's really, really important that when they're taking calls, they're getting the right information and they're doing the right thing so that the responders have appropriate information to respond.
Is this annual?
So they have to do 21 hours annually. Yes, that's a state
So
requirement.
this is training they did last year.
They did not do domestic violence. We pick a different focus on these
Okay.
big trainings every year.
Okay. I just was curious about some of the other lines that you had in your budget
Yep.
for training lines.
So the APCO school is what all of our new people are required to do. They're required to do this 2-week training. All dispatchers statewide are required. The EMD recerts are emergency medical dispatch. They're all trained on EMD and they all have to recertify every year. New staff has to take new EMD training, which you'll see is the higher cost. That's a $500 cost per person. The recerts are $55 a year. Fingerprinting. We're gonna have new supervisors coming on board this year. We're gonna do a supervisor training in September. It's gonna cover a variety of things from, dealing with difficult employees to, what not to say, the importance of, it's not always what you say, it's how you say it, and how to deal with, employees on the floor. The public safety group online training is a huge resource. We pay $1,000 for that a year, but we pull a lot of trainings from that. And that's a huge cost saver for us because we probably pick, I don't know, 4 to 5, if not 6 a year out of that to train staff on. And that's online training, which saves us in fund and costs. So, and I might be on the low end of some of our training right now, but I'm trying to manage it so that we can stay within a reasonable amount.
This is 5,000, what you're looking at.
Yeah, so this, and this one we get, by us hosting, we get a discount. We have, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 counties, partner counties around us sending staff. So we get a discount on our students in the course by having other employees coming.
Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed?
And I don't have anything further unless anyone has anything for me.
These, the 2 grants that you spoke about earlier, are they matching, any matching funds or?
No, no, generally our grants are not, don't have a matching.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, next up, will be assigned council. Mr. Haskins is a little under the weather today. We have John Price, on the line here, representing assigned council.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry I can't be there in person today. You have our report that was sent out last week. Most of that information is standard information we put out every month. I did want to quickly draw everyone's attention though to there is mention in there that we are in the our department is in the early stages of discussing with Seneca County and New York Indigent Legal Services the idea of our department taking on some of the management of Seneca County's assigned counsel program. Very quickly, just a little background, Seneca County currently has a public defender, and anytime that office runs into any conflicts with their clients, those cases are assigned out to a conflict panel. Unfortunately, both those are run by the same entity, which caused some problems. So once again, we're early in the stages of discussing how this could go about. Indigent Legal Services has money to cover that for us. Lloyd and I met with Fred Westfall a few weeks ago to discuss this. It's my understanding he's had some level of conversation with the county attorney in Seneca County. Our next stage is having a larger meeting with all involved parties. So I don't have much more information in terms of specifics of any proposal. There'll be more of that. I'm sure we'll be talking more about this next month. I just wanted to make the committee aware of all that.
All right, thank you. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Price? All right, thank you. Thanks for your report.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Whitney Antonacci, District Attorney.
Good evening, everyone. We had 27 indictments in the month of April, which is a lot for us. We typically average, around 15, 16, 17. So we were pretty busy in April. Good news is we did receive the CARP grant, the Crimes Against Revenue Program grant for $80,000. So we've had that for several years in a row. A lot of shout out and thank you to the Sheriff's Office for stepping up and joining us. We're creating a welfare fraud, crimes against revenue task force with the Sheriff's Office, the District Attorney's Office, and DSS to really start focusing on these type of crimes. It's been long overdue, so we're very grateful that they agreed to step up and join us and help in that initiative. And I have one resolution on. It is an amendment to a March resolution. Instead of hiring or filling the grant funded position for an assistant district attorney. We're actually gonna hire someone right out of law school. So she will have to start as a law associate until she passes the New York State Bar, which she's taking in July, and then gets admitted, which can take a long time, probably until January, but we can get a practice order for her through the 4th department. So she will be able to step up and handle cases as long as there's an attorney in the courtroom with her. So it's just a little bit of a change in position.
Move it.
Second.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? JP4 is carried.
That is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Riley.
Good evening, everyone. I was unable to complete a formalized written report, so I just wanted to, I have no resolutions on the floor this evening, but I wanted to just come with a few highlights of activities within the Office of Emergency Services over the last month. In the last 6 weeks, we have sat down with the DEC with members of our regional hazmat consortium to update our railroad spill response program. That applies to both the Finger Lakes Railway as well as CSX as a primary. And so we wanted to sit down and review for that. Today, we had a very long day. We had our county emergency preparedness assessment with the Department of Homeland Security. That's the first time this has been completed since 2020. We had over 30 stakeholders from dishes, public utilities, fire, EMS, law enforcement, 911, all represented to essentially discuss various threats that exist within the county and their potential, as well as our response capabilities when it comes to addressing those concerns. We are looking to conclude fire coordinator interviews tomorrow. We had 6 outstanding candidates for that part-time position. So I hope to be putting someone into that in the next week to 10 days. So that's very exciting. Training wise, we had 2 full weekends of rope rescue operations. We had a full class with 25 attendees. You might have seen us dangling off the side of the city parking garage for 2 weekends in a row. Nobody was pushed, I assure you. We also had rope rescue training in conjunction with the King Ferry Fire Department, and we will be doing a wildland search and rescue skills class in June. We also set up a exterior firefighting operations course starting at the end of the month, and we're looking for candidates for that as well. And we had 2 of our deputy coordinators participate in a mock DWI at Moravia School this morning. Some notable calls just to address is the season. So the message of water rescue safety is going out there. We've already had 3 water rescue calls so far this year, 1 involving 2 kayakers in distress and 2 for property that was lost property due to the high water levels on Wasco Lake. During that flooding incident that we had last week, we received 24 calls for flooded roadways in the span of 3 hours. We did establish an area command in New Hope Fire Department that was staffed with 2 of our deputy coordinators due to that incident. Notably, Route 34B through King Ferry in the town of Genoa and Route 38A from New Hope down at the county line down through Moravia, both had multiple flooding washout points. 2 roads were completely inundated. That would be Montgomery Road in the town of Summer Hill. And the second was Row Road in New Hope, where if a house there was not vacant, it would have had to be evacuated, much like the teams in Jordan. Jordan ended up requesting the state. We were on the floor for a swift water response to the village of Jordan, where they ended up evacuating several households that night due to rising levels. We did have a request from the Canal Corps to have an unoccupied but still active campground move RVs and other equipment from along the canal riverside in Weedsport away, just so they wouldn't be impacted by rising waters. And the last notable incident that we had, and this is one of the benefits to working forward with the search and rescue team, we were activated yesterday morning for a search and rescue request in Onondaga County for a missing 3-year-old juvenile. Unfortunately, the child was found, but ultimately that was something that our team was requested for. So that's kind of just some notable activities from the last few weeks in our office. Is there any questions related to that? Otherwise, I'll let you carry on.
All right, no other questions, just a comment of attending the emergency preparedness assessment today. That was, very enlightening, good stuff.
It was a long process. It was a long day. I give you credit for sticking it out, Tom.
That was worth it.
All right. If there's nothing further, thank you all.
Thank you.
And right on cue.
I apologize. I had,
You planned it just right.
Exactly, don't
I
apologize.
had COPA this afternoon in Niagara County, so I haven't been driving from
Wow.
there to get here, so.
Remember the sheriff is here.
Yeah. I do not have any resolutions. And I really don't have my update with me right here, so. So the only real thing for us is just working on trying to get the stuff together for our sex offenders, the internet monitoring, which I'll be coming back hopefully next month with at least getting no real financial hit for the county, just to the offenders. But we'll just have to be able to sign the contract with them to get that together. And using GPS monitoring, same thing, no hit for the county, just for the offender itself. So those are our big things, working on the annual plan, getting that together. That's due at the beginning of the month. And our ATI plan together for the state. So other than that, that's kind of where we are.
And then the three that you have at the academy, they should be coming short back in a little bit of time.
Yeah, they'll be done the second week of June. Just finished up getting sprayed yesterday, so they're getting things and seem to be doing well.
Hopefully that'll get your force back to where you need to be.
Yeah, it's been a struggle, but we're managing.
The firearms training, does that cost us money?
No, that'll be free. We probably will have something, but we have a year to get them into instructor development class, but I'm assuming we probably won't be able to get anybody anywhere until next year. But currently we don't have a firearm instructor.
So will these people be able to do the instruction after they do it with Auburn or not?
Yeah, once they get through the firearms instructor class, they can instruct, until they do the IDS.
Do the other one.
But we have a year to do that. But being that it was local, it was our best option of getting somebody in without having to send them to Albany or someplace else to do so.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Mr. Thomas, are all levels of sex offenders to be monitored, or is it just certain levels that are electronically monitored?
Right now, we don't have any in it. We're supervising them. We're just looking at some increased supervision for this particular caseload. Most of our electronic monitoring is really going to be some kind of alternative to incarcerating them, at least another sanction, as opposed, because right now when we violate people, most of the time we just got to incarcerate them. This may give them another bite at the apple with some further sanctions, per se.
Another one, yeah. Might not be an apple.
Right.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Anybody else for Mr. Thomas? All right. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
And next up is the sheriff.
Good evening.
Hello.
I don't have any additional updates. If somebody has any questions, one resolution.
Questions? We'll entertain a motion for JP 5.
But
Second,
Second, Mark.
any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Deborah Dennis, Stop DWI.
I don't have, I have one more thing. There's an addition to the report I had for you today. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I wanted to just thank the district attorney's office and the sheriff. Today I was invited to go to the Moravia High School put on a mock DWI event. So it was the first one I've seen, and it was very impressive to me to see how attentive the students were. It was 8th through 12th graders. Instead of doing an after prom party for Stop DWI awareness, they opted to do this right at the school, and just the collaboration between the fire departments, 911. The helicopter was there, the DA's office. It was very impressive to see how everything kind of came together, just to see how attentive the students were. So it was nice to be a part of that today. Do you have any questions?
Any questions? All right, thank you much.
thank you.
I took his pen, but I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Motion to adjourn. A second. All in favor?
Man, we're setting.
I.
We are setting record.